story begins by introducing a woman named Anna, who is sitting in her car and heading out to pick up her friends because they have planned a vacation together. On the way, she meets her first friend, Claire, who works as a photographer. Wherever Claire goes, she always carries her camera and takes beautiful pictures to preserve her memories. Claire gets into the car, and together they pick up their second friend, Rose. Now, they only have to pick up Sarah, so they head to her house. Anna and Claire tell Rose to go inside and bring Sarah out because they are a little scared of Sarah's father. As soon as Rose rings the doorbell, Sarah's father comes outside and tells her that Sarah has locked herself in her room. He asks Rose to talk to her and find out why she is behaving that way. Rose goes into Sarah's room and starts trying to comfort her. She soon discovers that Sarah has just gone through a breakup. Her boyfriend cheated on her, and Sarah is having a hard time dealing with it. Rose tells her that she deserves someone much better and that her boyfriend was never trustworthy. She reminds Sarah that sometimes things happen for a reason and that something better may be waiting for her. At first, Sarah refuses to believe her, but when Rose tells her that they have planned a trip especially for her and that Anna and Claire are already waiting in the car, Sarah finally agrees to come along. The girls tell her that they will travel together, have fun, and make some great memories. Sarah finally comes out of her room and prepares to leave with her friends. Before she leaves, her mother gives her a good luck pendant that has been passed down through their family. According to the family tradition, wearing the pendant is supposed to bring good luck and protect the person who wears it. Sarah thanks her mother and takes the pendant before joining her friends. Sarah's mother tells the girls to take good care of her daughter, and they assure her that she has nothing to worry about. After gathering all their belongings, the four girls get into the car and head toward the forest. All four of them believe this vacation is going to be one of the best experiences of their lives, but that perception is about to change very soon. While they are driving, a young man suddenly appears beside the road and falls down while trying to avoid their car. The girls stop to check on him, and Claire immediately becomes interested in him. She starts flirting with him and even offers him a ride, but the man turns down her offer because he lives nearby and says he can simply walk home. Since he refuses their help, the girls do not think much about him and continue driving. After traveling for quite some time, they realize that they cannot find the right road. They then notice a van parked on the side of the road with a man working on it. They pull over and start asking him for directions. As soon as the man looks at them, his appearance makes them extremely uncomfortable. The girls become frightened because his face is covered with several deep cuts and disturbing scars that look far from normal. The man keeps staring intensely at them, and something about his eyes immediately makes them feel that something is wrong. While they are talking to him, several pieces of what appears to be human flesh suddenly fall from his truck, and Sarah and the other girls notice them. They immediately realize that something is seriously wrong in this place. Without continuing the conversation, they quickly get back into the car and drive away. At this point, we learn that the terrifying man is actually the same person who killed a woman at the beginning of the story by shooting her with an arrow. Soon after, his partner arrives, and the dangerous man tells him that several girls have just passed through the area. His partner realizes that they have found their next targets. The two men begin planning how they will hunt the girls. They are actually a group of dangerous cannibals who capture unsuspecting people and tourists, kill them, and butcher their bodies so brutally that the victims become almost impossible to identify. While the two men begin preparing their plan to capture the girls, the four friends are still deep in the forest, happily taking photographs and enjoying their vacation, completely unaware of the danger that is closing in on them. They end up making a lot of great memories together. The four girls decide that they will continue the rest of their journey on foot, choose a destination, and set up camp there for the night. After walking for a while, they finally reach a river and decide that this is the perfect spot to camp. They begin setting up their campsite and preparing to cook some food, completely unaware that the two dangerous men are still following them. The killers have already set their sights on the girls, and they have no intention of stopping until they get what they want. Meanwhile, Anna and Claire become busy setting up the camp near the river, while Rose and Sarah walk down to the water to cool off and take a quick swim. The two girls seem very comfortable with each other as they sit by the river and talk. Suddenly, Sarah reveals something shocking to Rose: she is pregnant. Rose is completely stunned because she realizes that Sarah's breakup was not the main reason she had been so upset. Sarah is actually pregnant and still has not told her parents. That is what has been worrying her the most. Rose is the first friend Sarah has trusted enough to tell everything to, but Sarah still has no idea what she should do next. Rose reassures her that they are all there for her and that they will support her through everything. Meanwhile, Anna and Claire have almost finished setting up the campsite. They gather firewood and several stones to build a fire, but as they make their way back toward the others, they notice the same dangerous men watching them from the top of some rocks. The killers are still keeping a close eye on the girls and monitoring their every move. Soon, night falls, and all 4 girls gather around the campfire. They begin sharing personal stories and talking about what is happening in their lives. Despite the relaxed atmosphere, Rose starts feeling that someone is hiding in the bushes nearby because she keeps hearing strange noises coming from the forest. She immediately goes to investigate. Claire shines the flash from her camera toward the bushes, and for a brief moment, the light reveals what appears to be a human face hiding in the darkness. Rose becomes terrified and quickly calls the others over. When they shine the flashlight toward the same area again, however, there is no one there. The others tell Rose that she may have imagined it and that there is no reason to worry. They return to the camp, finish their food, and decide to go to sleep. Rose still cannot shake the feeling that something is wrong. Later, when she goes into the forest for a moment, she hears the same strange noises again. Suddenly, someone grabs her from behind, but it turns out to be Sarah, who was only trying to scare her. Rose is relieved but clearly shaken by the prank. After returning to the campsite, all the girls climb into their tent and go to sleep. The next morning, they wake up feeling exhausted because none of them slept properly. It is their first trip deep into the forest, and the unfamiliar surroundings have made them extremely uncomfortable throughout the night. Claire also has a terrible headache, so she takes some medicine, apparently a painkiller, and even takes an extra dose. Soon, the girls sit together and start talking about their childhood memories. It feels like old friends who have reunited after years apart, sharing everything about their lives, including their happiest and most difficult moments. Anna notices the pendant around Sarah's neck and asks what it represents and why her mother gave it to her. Claire explains on Sarah's behalf that the person who gives you something like this must deeply care about you. The pendant is believed to bring good luck, and whoever wears it is supposed to be protected from bad things. Claire reveals that she was given a similar pendant by her sister, but she apparently left it at home instead of bringing it with her. So, for now, Claire does not have her lucky charm with her. Anna listens to everything, but after a while, she starts feeling bored and decides to go into the forest to change her clothes. While she is changing, she has no idea that the dangerous man is secretly watching her from behind the trees, with weapons nearby. Once Anna finishes changing and starts walking back toward her friends, she suddenly notices a strange smell in the air. It smells like something has been left to rot. She follows the smell and discovers something horrifying. What appear to be human remains scattered on the ground. The sight is so terrifying that Anna nearly loses her balance and slips. Completely horrified by what she has discovered, Anna starts screaming in panic. Hearing her screams, the rest of the girls immediately rush toward her to find out what happened. Anna shows them the intestines, which are clearly human, and they also discover someone's severed legs hanging from the tree above them. The sight is so horrifying that all the girls immediately panic, and Rose even starts vomiting. Claire, however, still cannot resist her photography habit and begins taking pictures of everything. Rose and Anna repeatedly tell her to stop, but Claire refuses and keeps taking close-up shots. When Claire turns her camera toward another direction, she suddenly sees the same dangerous man standing in front of her with a bow and arrow. He immediately fires an arrow, which strikes Claire's camera and pierces her eye. Claire collapses and dies on the spot. Chaos instantly breaks out, and the 3 remaining girls become so terrified that they have no idea what to do to save themselves. The other killer suddenly attacks from behind with a gun, shooting Anna and seriously injuring her. Seeing this, Rose and Sarah try to run away, but the second man takes another shot and hits Rose in the leg. Rose falls to the ground in agony, while Sarah manages to escape. When the 2 killers meet, they divide the task between themselves. One of them will go after Sarah, while the other will capture the remaining girls and take them back to their home, where they plan to butcher their bodies. The wild-looking cannibal grabs his bow and arrows and goes after Sarah, while the other killer knocks Rose unconscious after shooting her in the leg. At this point, almost all the girls have been captured except Sarah. The wild cannibal searches the surrounding area but cannot find her anywhere. Sarah has managed to hide, but she has no idea that the bald killer has an extremely powerful sense of smell. As he gets closer, Sarah runs into a nearby cave and hides, hoping he will not be able to locate her. However, the bald cannibal is able to track her by scent, almost like an animal. When Sarah realizes that he is getting closer, she grabs a piece of wood lying nearby and strikes him directly on the head. The blow is so powerful that the bald man collapses and loses consciousness. Sarah immediately takes advantage of the opportunity and runs away. Meanwhile, Rose is shown tied up, and as she slowly regains consciousness, she hears Anna screaming nearby. When Rose looks toward the sound, she sees one of the killers attacking Anna and severely hurting her. Anna is badly injured and has multiple wounds on her body, while her hands and legs are tied so tightly that she cannot defend herself or escape. Rose desperately cries for help, but there is nothing she can do. The killer eventually finishes off Anna and then turns his attention toward Rose, making it clear that she is his next target. Rose desperately begs him to stop, but the killer shows no mercy. These cannibals have no compassion. Once they choose someone as their target, they intend to capture and kill their victims. Meanwhile, Sarah is shown falling inside a cave and struggling to find a way out. Just when she manages to get back outside, she discovers that the bald man has survived and has caught up with her. He grabs her and drags her to another area, intending to attack her. However, Sarah gets a chance to fight back when she finds a heavy object nearby and strikes him directly in the head. The attack is powerful enough to kill him, and he collapses to the ground. Sarah wastes no time and immediately escapes, determined to find her friends and save them. Elsewhere, Rose, who is still tied up, witnesses the killer brutally disposing of Anna's body and consuming her remains. Rose desperately tries to free herself, but the ropes are tied extremely tightly, and she cannot loosen them with her hands. As soon as Rose realizes that the killer is coming toward her, she pretends to be unconscious, causing him to decide to come back later. Suddenly, Sarah arrives and tries to free Rose, but she quickly realizes that the ropes are too tightly tied to be loosened by hand. She heads toward the tent to get a knife so she can cut the ropes and rescue Rose. While Sarah is cutting the ropes, she notices the killer returning, so she quickly hides inside the tent. The killer does not notice her and walks straight toward Rose, intending to attack her again. Rose becomes increasingly terrified, wondering what is about to happen to her, but then Sarah suddenly appears from behind him. She has managed to take his gun and points it directly at him, ordering him to let them go. The dangerous man slowly moves toward Sarah, assuming that she does not know how to use the gun and will not actually fire. Sarah refuses to back down and shoots him directly in the leg. The man screams in pain and drops to his knees. Sarah then fires another shot that hits him in the shoulder, causing him to collapse to the ground. Sarah immediately rushes over to Rose, cuts the ropes around her hands, and helps her escape. Sarah has also taken the man's vehicle keys so they can get away quickly. The two girls begin making their escape, but they soon discover that the wounded killer has regained consciousness and is still determined to chase them. Rose is in terrible condition, so Sarah helps carry her away as quickly as possible. Neither of them realizes that the wounded killer is following closely behind them, and despite his injuries, he remains extremely dangerous. Sarah eventually manages to get Rose to the vehicle and helps her inside. However, just as Sarah is about to start the vehicle, the killer suddenly appears with his gun and shoots Sarah from behind. Sarah does not die, but the gunshot leaves her critically injured and close to death. The killer continues firing at them, while Rose pulls the badly wounded Sarah into the vehicle and takes control of the steering wheel. Rose manages to drive away, with the killer firing at them from behind, but fortunately, all of his shots miss. He then gets into another truck and begins chasing them. Rose becomes terrified because Sarah has lost consciousness, leaving her completely responsible for keeping both of them alive. The killer continues pursuing them, but as Rose speeds through a rocky area, a young man suddenly appears in front of the vehicle. It is the same mysterious man they encountered earlier on the road. While trying to avoid hitting him, Rose loses control of the vehicle, causing it to crash into the rocky terrain. When the young man sees Rose and Sarah, he realizes that both women are badly injured. He then approaches the truck following them to ask for help, completely unaware of the huge mistake he is making. The young man tells the dangerous killer that two injured women are inside the crashed vehicle and that they need proper medical attention. Instead of helping them, the killer immediately gets out of the truck, pulls out his gun, and shoots the young man dead. He even thanks the young man for stopping the two girls, which makes his job much easier. The killer now walks straight toward the girls with his gun, making it clear that he has no intention of giving them another chance to escape. Rose notices this and quickly hides Sarah behind some rocks before running uphill herself. The cannibal keeps firing at her, and if even one bullet hits Rose, she could be killed instantly. However, Rose does not look capable of doing any of this because she is already badly injured and is struggling just to stay alive. The killer continues searching for her without fear, and eventually, he spots her hiding behind a tree. At this point, it seems like Rose has nowhere left to run. The dangerous man slowly approaches her with his gun, believing that she can no longer escape and that he can do whatever he wants to her. Rose becomes terrified, but suddenly, the killer steps into a hidden bear trap. His leg is badly injured, and he collapses to the ground in agony. Now he is unable to chase Rose and has to struggle just to free himself. However, if someone ever becomes trapped in a dangerous mechanical trap, the safest option is to avoid attempting risky repairs or trying to force it open without proper equipment or assistance, as doing so could cause even more serious injuries. In the movie, however, the attacker remains trapped, giving Rose the opportunity she desperately needed. For the first time, she feels safe and slowly gets back on her feet. She even begins to smile as she watches the attacker suffer, remembering all the pain he caused and the friends he had killed. Eventually, the killer dies from his injuries. Perhaps now the forest will finally become peaceful, and no more innocent tourists will be attacked. Rose immediately rushes back to Sarah and checks whether she is still alive. Fortunately, Sarah is still breathing. If she receives proper medical treatment in time, there is still hope that she can recover. Rose is still extremely angry because all of her friends have been killed, and she keeps thinking that Sarah survived only because she had the good luck pendant given to her by her mother. She believes that the pendant is the reason Sarah managed to escape such a dangerous situation. Rose still has the keys to the killer's car, so she quickly helps Sarah into the vehicle, starts the engine, and drives away. However, she keeps looking back repeatedly, worried that the killer might somehow still be alive and attack them again. But the man is completely motionless because he is actually dead, meaning the two girls can finally leave the area without any immediate danger. Even so, the sadness on Rose's face is obvious because she knows she will never see her friends again. She keeps thinking about all the wonderful memories they shared before the trip turned into a nightmare. Claire and the others were brutally killed by the cannibals, and Rose keeps wondering if Claire might have survived had she brought the good luck pendant her family gave her. Unfortunately, Claire left it at home. Rose is also unsure what she will tell Sarah's parents or whether she will reveal Sarah's pregnancy. Those questions remain unanswered. The good news is that Rose and Sarah have finally escaped the cannibals and survived the terrifying ordeal. One thing is certain, they will never return to this forest again. And that's where the story ends.